Candela, hypnotherapist, transformation coach, and a spiritual teacher. You're about to listen to a recording of one of my regression sessions. If you enjoyed the content on my channel, please consider subscribing. And if you click on the bell, it will inform you of any of my future postings. Also, leave a comment and click like, because that helps to bring this kind of content to more viewers. I hope you enjoy the recording, and I hope to see you again in my future videos. And I'd like you to tell me the very first thing that you see as you reach the surface.
Dirt all around. It wasn't tended or anything. Like that's the natural state of the dirt.
Do you notice anything else at all? So I'd like you to look down at where your feet would be and tell me what you're wearing on them.
Barefoot was the first thought. I feel like I'm not seeing, but maybe sensing.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. And now become aware of your body and tell me what you're wearing on your body.
Loose pants that go to the ankles, brown. My shirt seems loose as well, white, like a linen. It's almost like what a farmer would wear, but I feel like I'm not a farmer.
Are you in a male or a female body?
I feel male.
Young or old?
Young.
About what age?
13. Teenager.
Are you healthy?
Yes.
So now become aware of why you're standing there in that dirt.
I hear like parents, but I don't know what that means. If I'm maybe looking for them, maybe they left.
And as you look around, you're going to get a sense of where you're coming from and where you're going.
I see a fence post. It is a field. It's just not tilled. Beyond the field is the tall grass. Might be a house there to the left.
Who does this land belong to?
My family.
So this is where you live?
Yes.
Tell me how you feel about this field and this land.
Kind of indifferent.
Why do you need to find your parents?
It's not clear.
So as I count to 3, you're going to see yourself or sense yourself standing in front of a place where you live. 1, 2, and 3. And tell me what you see.
I see a house, the porch. It's in decent shape, like a farmhouse would look. The porch is half covered.
How big is the house?
2 stories. There's windows. It's very uniform. Window on each side of the porch and a door in the middle. It's like a little working farm. Maybe not animals, but some chickens.
So go ahead and enter the house. Tell me what you notice inside.
Wood floors, rocking chair. I notice a wood table, oval, a fireplace. There's no fire. It's dark in there. There's no light. I don't know if there's electricity here or not. Based off of the house, it seems like there would be, but it's daytime, but it's dark inside. Kind of shut up. Not very airy. The windows are all closed.
Become aware of who lives in this house.
I do. My parents live here as well. I don't sense any siblings, though.
Go to the 2nd floor and tell me what you find there.
I see it's just a long hallway. 2 rooms to the left and a room to the right. All bedrooms, I would assume. Feels like my room is that first to the left. My parents is the farthest to the right. Maybe I do have siblings. I feel like there's another room in the back.
Tell me what you see in your room.
I see a bed. It's small. A quilt of some sort on the bed. Bed is wood. Simple wood. No ornate headboard or anything like that. Like a twin bed. I feel like there's a dresser or a desk. I feel like there's stuff on the walls too, but I don't know what they are.
So as you go to the next room.
Room to the right is my parents' room. Larger bed. Posts go all the way up. Wood all the way around the top, like needs a canopy type thing, but no canopy. Unmade bed. My bed was made. Dresser. Stuff on top of the dresser. Perfume. Some jewelry. Simple room though. Dresser. Maybe a chair in there, but that's it.
So as you move on to the next room, what do you find there?
Nothing. It's empty. I don't know if anything's ever been in there.
So on the count of 3, I'd like you to see yourself having a meal. 1, 2, and 3. And tell me what you experience.
Plate, ceramic, floral details around that plate. On the plate, chicken, green beans. I don't know if there's a potato of some sort, but it doesn't seem like very much. Small portions for what you would think today.
And where are you eating this meal?
At the table. Just myself, though. Strange.
Where are your parents?
I just have a sense of not knowing. Maybe they went somewhere. I just have a feeling of like they're supposed to be home, but they're not.
How long have you been waiting for them?
Half a day, enough to make me wonder where they are.
So I want you to become aware of where they went.
Into town.
Why did they go there?
To pick up produce. If we have this farm, I don't think we are produce farmers.
What do you do on your farm?
I want to say wheat, maybe barley as well. Grains, I would say. I think we just produce for ourselves, just surviving ourselves, almost like homesteading.
How often do your parents go to town?
Weekly.
How far from the town are you?
Maybe a couple hours.
How do they get there?
A buggy or a cart. I didn't sense a horse, so maybe we'd borrow a horse.
Do you ever go into town yourself?
I've been there with my parents, but I don't think often.
So I'd like you to see yourself in that town the last time that you were there. And tell me how big this town is and what do you notice around.
It's not like a village. I feel like it's only like one dirt road. There's definitely like a market through the middle. Very small though, maybe only 6 to 8 vendors of different things. Produce and maybe cut flowers. I feel like too that the houses are like right there on the street. There's no sidewalks.
Does your family ever sell anything at that market?
I would say my mother sells bread, baked goods with the wheat. It seems like she's a baker at home and takes it to market.
And what does your dad focus on?
Farming. I get a visual now of him farming with a plow that's pulled by a horse.
Mm-hmm. Now become aware of what you do during the day.
It's not like I just mess around all day. I feel like I should do more work, but I feel like I don't. Like I kind of avoid it.
What are you supposed to be doing?
I think I'm supposed to be out maybe cutting wood. I feel like I have a task, but I don't do it. I'd rather just kind of run around and act like a 13-year-old.
Have you had any schooling?
My mother gave me the schooling, but I don't see any schoolhouses or anything, or even playmates. I feel very like an only child, but I feel like the only kid too. So I think that's a lot why I'm out imagining and getting into trouble, not doing my work.
Are there any neighbors close by?
Yes, we do have neighbors. 10-minute walk to their house. You could see them across the field or something like that. They're older. They don't have children.
So there are no kids for you to interact with?
No.
What is your family life like? How do you feel about your parents in your life?
I feel bored. I feel a great amount of love for my mother. I do feel love for my father, but it is different. It is not the same as a mother's nurturing love. I feel like my father expects me to do things and I don't do them, so I disappoint him.
Does he respond in any sort of way to that? To you not doing your work?
He just is stern. I don't get a sense that he's physical in any way, but he gets his point across through guilt, it seems. Not pulling my weight enough so that I'm not upholding the duties of what a 13-year-old, essentially a grown man in his eyes, should be doing.
And how do you feel about that?
I feel bad, but part of me also doesn't really care that much because that's not what I feel like I meant to do, or I have no interest in farming or cutting wood.
What do you feel you're meant to do?
I feel pulled towards the town. I feel like something nudging me. You should be in town, but I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just a social life.
See yourself moving in time forward a little bit. And tell me if your parents return from town.
Yes, they're not at the table with me, but I can sense that they're home.
Do they share with you how their trip went?
Yes, they were able to get some produce, but not all. It was a bad season. I see peppers mostly. So maybe they weren't able to get other vegetables. Peppers seem pretty hardy.
What will that mean for you as a family?
When it comes to us, it just means less vegetables, more carbs. Vegetables are a nice addition to our meals, but they're definitely not the top meal that we have. It's whatever we can get. When I look at that plate, it had just a few green beans on it, not a large amount, so we must be very frugal with our vegetables.
So on the count of 3, I'd like you to move to the next significant moment in that life. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening.
Standing in the house, I'm older, teenager, I'd say, maybe 18. It's weird because once again, like my parents are not here, but I don't sense death.
Where are they?
I don't know, I almost sense like I'm in this house by myself. I just feel alone in here, I'm not sure.
And what are you doing?
Just standing.
Notice how you feel as you're standing there.
Just alone. I just have a heaviness.
Go ahead and walk through the house and you will begin to realize what's been happening.
They're not here. I'm in the big bedroom now. I feel that I sleep in it. My bedroom is old and dusty. It's not used. I definitely feel that something happened to them. There's a really heavy feeling, just loneliness, loss.
So we're going to rewind. You're going to find yourself in the time period when something changed in your life, in your relation to your parents. And tell me what's happening.
There was an accident of some sort. Can't see a whole lot, but it seemed like a cart tipped.
How old are you at that time?
Maybe 17.
Were you with your parents at that time?
No, I feel like I caught word from it and went to where the cart tipped. I feel like something happened where it tipped down a hill and my parents were crushed under.
Where were they heading?
I don't see stuff thrown around, produce. So maybe they were on the way there to town. Because I really don't go anywhere other than town. I think I got word many hours after, like from a bypasser, and they recognized who they were, came to me.
And what happens to you afterwards?
It seems like a blur. I know I didn't personally bury them.
Who buried them?
I see the people of the town, maybe a clergyman assisted. It's kind of like everybody pulled together to do it.
As you move forward, have you made any decisions about the direction that you're going to take?
No, it still seems I'm in shock, but the neighbors are kind of helping me out. I get a sense that they bring me stuff. Live with them maybe sometimes, but I think that's my choice. Yeah, I feel like it's my choice to be alone, which is really sad.
Move to the future when perhaps you make a decision about the direction of your life or begin to take some new action, and tell me what's happening then.
I think I pull myself up from my bootstraps and learn how to farm. I already knew kind of, but not really well. Trying to provide for myself is a little complicated. I didn't know how to bake bread or anything like that. So it seems like I'm just selling my wheat at this point. Not even taking off the shafts. Just cut. People feel bad for me, so they're trading me so I can eat. But like I said, the neighbors are also supporting as well.
How do you feel about your life at that point?
Sad. Now I kind of feel guilty that I didn't apply myself more and help more, and maybe I could have been on that cart. I could have stopped it. I was busy being a child and running around when I should have been helping. And now I feel like I don't have any opportunities other than just being here on this farm. I feel like I would rather be in town. But much like my parents, I'm living off the land and what's provided to me, so I cannot afford to move in town.
So on the count of 3, I'd like you to move to the next significant moment in that life. 1, 2, and 3. And tell me what's happening.
I'm in town, just standing in the street. It's during the day. I feel like I don't see anybody though. I'm not sure what I'm even doing in town.
Become aware of how old you are.
30.
Where do you live?
In town.
So see yourself standing in front of the place where you live.
It's a house. It's in town. It's almost like a townhouse. I connected to other houses. I feel like maybe I rent this house if that was such a thing. Since I had to sell our farm because I wasn't able to afford to live, I needed money to live. I wasn't a good farmer, and the house was big and it was just me. It feels like I sold it to downsize and live in town but not own.
Is there anybody living in this house with you?
I sense a female I live with. A girl. If it's a woman, she's very immature. Definitely not a child. It's an adult. They're just aloof. I kind of like the outgoingness of this individual. I seem very reserved and quiet and shy. This person seems very outgoing.
Is she your wife?
I don't think so. I think she's like a girlfriend. I don't feel like there was an actual marriage.
Is that kind of thing allowed in your community?
I sense that it's not a big deal. Maybe it's because we're older. I don't sense anybody giving us a hard time about it.
Okay. And how do you support yourselves?
I work like at a newspaper, some type of periodical that gets given out to the community, writing, or a newspaper.
Has your town grown?
Yes, it seems a little more evolved. Not a ton, but you can stop and get a paper at this shop that's there. Communication seems to be a lot better than it used to be as well.
What do you mean by that?
The mail, I feel like we really didn't get mail before, and now there's mail and a newspaper. I do feel like the road seems a little more established. Like it's no longer dirt. Maybe they put cobblestone. It just seems a little more like they've gone through a renaissance.
And what is your role within this shop?
I think I'm just a hand to write what's already been written. Since I don't see like a printing press or anything like that, I think it's almost handwritten. I don't think I go out and get stories. I transcribe.
Do you earn enough to live on?
Yes, modestly, but I seem happier now that I'm in town. I have this woman that I'm with and I'm communicating with people every day. It seems a lot more fulfilling than the dark loneliness on the farm. I don't feel like I miss the farm either. I don't feel like I've ever really had a deep attachment to it anyway.
Where did you meet the woman that you're with?
Like a tavern. I don't think she works it. I think she's a patron. Maybe I saw her that she sells flowers. And I get a sense that's what she does. She goes out into the fields, collects flowers, plants, cuts them and sells them.
How do you feel about her?
I like her. She's funny. She amuses me. I wouldn't say like I'm in love with her, but I do love her. She's good company.
Do you wish you had a deeper relationship, or are you satisfied with what you have?
I think I'm okay with what I have. Maybe I'm standoffish in the fact that I don't want it to be a marriage. Feels like it's a protective measure.
To protect yourself?
Yeah, just I think from like a heavy loss.
So on the count of 3, I'd like you to move to the last day of that life. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what you're experiencing.
Laying in bed. I'm older, maybe 60s. feels natural. It almost feels like I'm just like worn out. Maybe some breathing issues, like pneumonia or something in the lung. Just hard to breathe.
Do you have anyone around you?
I sense that girlfriend. She's there. Long-term partner. We never married, and I think we were both okay with that. She was older too. I think she was a widow, so she wasn't interested either. Maybe people in the back, but they might just be acquaintances or people helping me. I feel like pneumonia's kind of been creeping up on me. Maybe I was sick and it just never went away, and it's just been stuck in my lung. And at this point, I feel like it's like a conscious decision to just go.
Why is that?
Though I was happy, I don't feel like I was as happy as I should have been. And I'm just ready to move to the next step. I feel like I have some regrets, but I'm not 100% sure what they were. But I'm at peace and I'm ready.
Is anybody speaking with you or saying anything to you?
No, the woman's just holding my hand and smiling softly. I feel like she is saying it's okay. You can go. She looks sad. I just feel like we had a soul understanding that we don't have to speak.
So as you take your next breath, you're going to find your soul gently leaving the body. And as you look back at the life you just left behind, tell me what your first thoughts are about it.
Boredom. I seem bored.
I want you to become aware of the purpose that your soul set for that lifetime for you. What was it that you wanted to experience?
Independence. Being able to take care of myself.
Were you able to do that successfully?
Yes, although from a standpoint of the human, it felt like nothing was achieved. I feel like the independence was from raising myself to making it work. And even in the end, not committing to a marriage where you'd feel a part of something, you were independent the whole time.
Is that what your soul desired you to experience? Or was that your own interpretation as a human? In other words, were you on track with what you wanted to experience?
Yes, because with independence comes loneliness sometimes. It needed to experience independence and loneliness for a while.
We usually talk about independence as opposed to dependency. But there is also a concept of interdependence. When you're independent, but then choose to be a part of something else with someone else.
Yes.
Were you experiencing independence and its sort of shadow side so that you could see that it's not the only alternative to dependency?
Yes. I think with having a partner later in life, you learn that interdependency. It's crucial to know dependence early, and then you can incorporate interdependence once you are fully independent yourself. Once you can live with yourself contently, is when you can live with others.
So did you experience interdependency, or did you only experience independence throughout?
Definitely both.
Okay. So in that sense, was that a successful human experience for your soul?
Yes.
So even though you were bored, that was not really a concern in that particular journey?
No.
Good. So allow yourself to your being once again guided in a new direction and melt into guided state now to another and most finding yourself down and examining the surface. And I want you to tell me once again the first thing that you notice or the first impressions that you get as you reach the surface.
Sand. It's very bright. White sand. Very white. A little ways out there seems to be a body of water, maybe.
And as you look down at your feet, tell me what you're wearing on your feet.
Barefoot again.
And tell me what you're wearing on your body.
Maybe something light. Very light cloth.
Are you in a female or male body?
Can't tell.
This cloth, describe it to me a little bit more.
It seems almost sheer-like. Maybe like a sand color, but very sheer. It seems draped. Maybe knee length. I'm trying to figure out how it's attached. I want to say at the waist somewhere. I also don't feel human. I just don't feel like my body feels like a male or a female.
So describe to me what you're sensing your body is like. And while you're doing that, move towards that source of water. Describe to me what you're sensing as you're moving towards the water.
I'm sensing my limbs seem longer than human limbs. Feet look a little bit different too.
In what way?
Wider, maybe. Larger. Like almost webbed in a way.
And what color is the skin?
Like dark leatherish color. Deeper brown.
Have you reached the water yet?
Yes.
So I'd like you to lean over the surface of the water, and you might see your reflection in it. I want you to describe what you see.
I feel taller. I feel like I don't have much muscle. Very thin and tall. I feel tan. It doesn't feel like a normal face, but I can't picture it or even describe it.
Do you have any hair?
Yes, but not thick. My skin is not smooth, it is rough. The hair is not thick. It doesn't seem like it's all over my body.
So as you look around, notice if there are other beings there, like you, or maybe different from you, in that area.
See anybody? Just this water. It's clear, very clear water. Seems like an ocean of some sort or a sea.
How do you feel about being there?
Peaceful.
Is this a place where you live?
No. Seems like I visit here. I live more inland. There's a wooded area of some sort.
Why do you visit here?
Because it's quiet. It recharges you.
As you look around, notice if there is something that catches your attention.
It's strange that no one's there, but I think I'm expecting that no one's there. This is kind of like a little hidden nook that I found for myself.
What do you do there?
Just sit, listen to the water, but really there aren't waves. It's a strange body of water, very glass-like. It's quiet.
I wonder if you can reach into that water and tell me what it feels like.
It's cool. It doesn't seem that deep, but it's cold. It feels like it's fresh water, not salt water, so drinkable. Giving a sense that it is a main water source for the area. So maybe a very large lake I can't see across.
So on the count of 3, I'd like you to see yourself standing in front of a place where you live. 1, 2, and 3. And tell me what you're seeing.
It's in the woods. I feel like it's built into the side of rocks. Not a cave, but a kind of a cave. But in the forest, on the forest floor, not up high in a cliff. But I also feel like it's been reinforced with sticks and brush to kind of create a dome around the outside of it. The fire looks like it's outside, very primitive.
Do you share this space with anyone?
I sense my sister lives with me.
Is she younger or older?
Same age. We were twins.
Anyone else?
Doesn't seem like it. Seems like maybe at one time there were more of us, but no longer. We moved or something happened, but nothing that I can pinpoint right now.
So when you look at your sister, tell me what she looks like.
She has a wrap on her as well. Something pinpoints her as female.
Is her wrap the same as yours?
Yes. Hers is folded a few times, so it's not as sheer.
Do you feel that you're the same as your sister, or there are differences between you?
Maybe I am male. I feel like my skin's a little rougher than hers. Mannish type of, but it doesn't make sense.
So I want you to imagine yourself sitting down quietly and sort of go inward. You get a sense or an image of what a being of your species looks like, so that you can begin to describe it.
Black eyes. Not so much eyelids like human eyes. Everything is where it's supposed to be. Nose is not so much a nose, but 2 holes. Mouth seems normal. I feel like the face protrudes more. I don't know. It's hard to describe. I feel skin is rough, almost like elephant skin rough. Whereas my sister's seems smoother and more dewy. Mine seems dry. I still can't sense if I'm female or male. Get like a duality type thing of both. We are born this way. There's 3 types, 3 genders. Reproductive types of individuals. There's males and there's females, and then there's someone who can possess both.
And tell me more about those individuals. What differentiates them?
They don't seem to take on a female or male archetype. They are able to carry a child, but also be the male end of the spectrum as well, produce one. I get a sense that it's rare, so these people are considered somewhat special to our society.
So do they have both types of reproductive organs physically?
Yes.
And so tell me about your life. How do you fill your day?
I see my sister and I living in this cave. We write on the walls sometimes, it seems. There's lots of writing. That's how our cave is somewhat decorated by.
What types of things do you write?
Symbols, it looks like. Spiral type symbols.
Is there specific meaning in those symbols?
I want to say it's just artwork. I don't feel that it's our language. I don't feel that this is something like we are writing histories or anything like that. But it does feel meaningful.
I'd like you to become aware of how you sustain yourself, your body.
Water, plants.
Where do you find these plants?
In the forest. We know what plants are edible and what are not. Sometimes we mash them, use them for painting. To eat, we'll boil them in some water. It doesn't seem like we eat meat. I feel like we're very connected with the flora and fauna of the area, so meat is not an option. But I also really don't see a whole lot of animals in this forest. A strange forest, quiet.
And when you interact with your sister, I want you to notice how those interactions take place.
I feel like we know. It might be telepathic, but just knowing. But I do feel like there is some verbal communication as well.
Become aware if there are others like you around that you interact with.
Yes, there's others. Interact with, if we have to. They seem like a very secluded type of people. I feel like there's community, but there's not community.
So on the count of 3, you're going to move to the next significant moment or event in that life. 1, 2, and 3. And tell me what you're experiencing.
I feel like our home's been destroyed.
What happened?
I sense that this was not an accident. I mean, it's like the whole cave is like kind of collapsed in. I feel like I was out foraging and it's kind of collapsed.
And what's your reaction to it?
Shock, a little bit scared, just because we weren't expecting anything like this. My sister and I seem like we're very peaceful people or beings. We tend to keep to ourselves.
Do you know if she's safe?
I don't know. I don't see her or sense her. I believe she was here.
Become aware of what has happened to her.
Something is telling me she's taken.
You will see exactly what unfolded in your mind's eye.
A group of people, they look like us, came in. It was definitely premeditated. They must have been watching us for a while. A group of maybe 4 or 5. They definitely took her against her will. And as they were leaving, they destroyed our cave. I feel like I'm familiar with, I want to say tribe. It almost sounds like the communities are tribes. The tribes are almost like families. Each family is a tribe, and our tribe is much smaller because our parents are gone. And it was just the 2 of us. This was a tribe not too far away. It seems like they took her because they needed new DNA in their tribe.
Is this how they would go about getting someone into their tribe, or do they ever peacefully try to invite someone in?
They start peacefully, and when they don't get what they want, they move with force. I get a sense that my sister was approached beforehand, and she did not want to join. They are unable to find a female for their area, and they decided to take her. They're not far. Our tribes are fairly close, and I feel like we are a fairly peaceful society, but this is kind of a blind side.
Is this something that happens normally within your society?
It's hard to tell. I feel like yes, but also I feel it's like a last resort. Usually women, even unwillingly, will go because they know it needs to happen to keep the tribe strong.
So become aware of why your sister chose not to accept that offer to join?
Because she was connected to me. I feel like our relationship is not just sisterly. I feel like there is a love relationship between us as well. That's the reason why she didn't want to go.
Is it love as in partners?
Yes, I feel strongly that way. And I don't know if that's normal or abnormal.
Just become aware. Ask that question in your mind.
It seems fairly normal, but it is a necessity of these tribes to find more DNA.
And do partners usually stay together for a long time?
It seems like it. It seems like they are monogamous.
So what do you do when you find that cage collapsed and your sister gone?
I'm in shock. I'm angry. I feel very angry. I'm going to go there. I feel like I'm debating how to go and how to address it when I am one person and they are many. I'm starting to kind of picture what their area looks like so I can make a strategic plan.
If you go there, is that something that can be discussed and negotiated?
I don't think so. I'm angry, I'm worried, but I'm also worried for myself as well. Being what I am is also desirable as well. But I don't think this tribe knows the duality that I have. But I have a strong feeling to save my sister. Very strong.
So move forward in time a little bit and tell me what happens next.
I feel like I'm on the outskirts of their little tribe settlement. It's much larger. They are not at a cave. They are roundish huts built out of the same sticks and brush and tree limb type stuff, but almost like Native American round huts, hogans, but in the woods. 4 or 5 of them, maybe more. It's all I can see in this clearing. I'm in the trees. I have a sharp object. It's not a knife, maybe a bone of some sort, something white, but sharp. Nervous, trying to figure out where she's being held. It must be dark or late. I can see well though, but I don't see anybody out and about. I see the fires kind of dying down outside of their huts. I feel kind of stuck. I'm scared. Now that I'm here, I'm not sure what I'm doing or if I should do this.
So move to that decision point and tell me what you decide next.
I do move closer. I'm outside of a hut. They are well built. Lots of layers of sticks so you can't see through it. Trying to listen to see if I hear her or a struggle. At this one, no sound. Next one, I hear maybe some snores. These huts don't have doors, so I'm going to stick close to them, try to peek in. The first one, there's just some bedding. I see animal skins, but nothing, not even a person in it. The next one, I feel very nervous to be around, but I must be an expert at being quiet, because I'm very quiet. I'm just going to see if I can get a sense of where she is.
I'd like you to move forward in time to the moment when you find significant information. Tell me what you find.
I sense that she's dead, that she fought, she died because she fought too much. I feel like I just found her at the outskirts of the village. I think she just tossed her like a dead animal.
I'm sorry. What do you do?
Pick her up. I carry her back. Hold her for a while. I tell her sorry. I do this for a long time. I feel like I have a hard time letting go. I place her out in the woods and let her go. I think that's normal. Unlike what that tribe did, there is ceremony to it and dignity rather than just throwing someone out into the...
What do your people believe happens after death?
Seems like the cycle of life is very important. That our bodies come from the earth and must return to the earth to give life again. Believe in spirit, much like Native Americans do. Very connected with the land that they live on.
What do you decide to do after you let her go?
I move. I feel that it's not safe where I am located. They had to know that there were more of us there and that I came and got her. So I move, but I don't know where I'm moving. Not even sure if I'm taking anything. I feel like there's nothing to take.
Move now to the last day in that lifetime and tell me what you experienced.
Nothing. I don't see anything right now. It's dark. It almost feels like that same day. I just feel like no time has really passed.
So after you let her go, what happens then?
I'm walking through the forest, just walking aimlessly. I feel like I don't have a plan. I feel a little lost. I do feel grief. I wonder if that's clouding what I'm even supposed to be doing. Almost like I can't cope properly. I just feel like I'm just gonna go out into the woods and go. Like, whatever happens, happens.
And what happens then? You leave the body.
Yes, but I still feel stuck in the woods. Literally like I'm trapped right in this one area and I can't move.
So I want you to imagine that your soul leaves the body, and as your awareness begins to expand, you begin to understand what was happening.
It seems intentional. I wanted to go, so I did, but something seems off with it. It's like a light switch, and then it was over, and I ascend.
Just become aware if your species is able to leave the physical vessel like that.
Yes, our connection is so strong that we're able to do this on our own will. But it seems like it has to happen in circumstances. Extreme pain, extreme happiness, extreme sadness. It's not just every day we can just walk out and leave. It has to be brought on by something.
Was it your choice to leave, or was it just brought on by your grief?
Choice.
Okay. So as you leave your body, you become aware of the purpose of that lifetime for your soul.
My mind is saying lost, but I don't think that's it. Not what it was. I sense the light. It's just a loving light.
This light can help you gain access to that information. What experience were you gaining in that life?
Connection. Having a connection with someone that is deep. I asked what the purpose of my sister's death and then dying myself was. The connection was deep enough that there didn't need to be more out of it. I think it was more than just a sister's connection with the life around as well, with nature and living off of the land.
Good. Thank you. So now allow yourself to drift away from those experiences I'd like to ask the higher consciousness of Haley to step forward. May I speak to the higher consciousness?
Yes.
Thank you. So I know that you could have brought forward many different lifetimes for Haley to see today, but you chose to bring the lifetime of a young man who lost his parents, and then the life of a being who lost a sister. Could you tell me why you picked those particular lifetimes for her to review?
I picked those lifetimes because I wanted her to be aware that it's okay to be alone sometimes. She has struggled with loneliness in the past, even in relationships. The second, I wanted her to be aware of her connection to people and the impact that that connection has on herself and others.
So she has always been pulled towards the idea of death and where we go beyond death. Could you tell her why that is of interest to her?
Because it has been so prevalent in her lives. Many of her lives, her family has died prematurely. She is left questioning the whys and hows.
Is there something you want to tell her now, what she should keep in mind about that?
Death is inevitable. Think of it not as the end of life, just a part. You are learning every lifetime how to cope, and that it's never the end. It's the beginning of something new. Just remember that as you lose the people you love in your life.
Speaking of her connection with other people, I wonder if you can address the soul contract that she has with her biological father. Why did they choose to come together, and what is it that they contribute to each other's journey?
She came into this contract with her parents. She needed to learn independence. She needed to learn loss. It's a very common thing in her life, be it death or connection-wise. Father needed to experience aloneness. He needed to learn despair, experience despair.
You're saying that loss is a common experience in her life. Are you referring to her current life as Haley or throughout lifetimes?
Both.
What is she still working through?
She's working through not being able to let go. In the first life, he did let go. He let go of the house. He let go of his family. She can learn from that to let go of things that are no longer serving her in her best interest. In the second life, it's more on her relationship with others, creating those connections. In this life, it's important that she does that. So when she does let go, she is not all alone. It's like a dichotomy, but it has to happen. She has to let go to create these connections, or deepen her connections with others.
So the soul contracts with her biological father and with her stepfather, are they about learning to let go, or are they about connections for her?
Letting go.
Is it okay for her to establish healthy boundaries and let go?
Yes. She feels obligated to take care of these family relationships. She doesn't have to. It's not her job.
Good. Now I'd like you to tell me about the soul contract with her husband and why they chose to come together.
They chose to come together for the children that they have. Children are growing up in a very healthy environment. It's stretching them. It's teaching them to be empathetic, to understand both sides of the coin. Their contract is also to help each other understand that differences are not always bad, that they can make us stronger and make us grow stronger spiritually, emotionally, physically.
Thank you. Can you tell her about the purpose that you have for this life experience as Haley?
Creating connections with everyone. She has the ability to spread love, positive energy. She's very talented at it. Creating these connections will allow her to live a more fulfilled life. It allows her marriage to be stronger, her family relationships to be stronger. But with that, she needs to create positive connections. Those negative ones that are lowering her vibrational frequency are dragging her down. They're not serving the greater purpose for her life and her lifetimes and Earth in general. And that is why she needs to let go of those, because they are no longer serving her or anyone else.
So it's letting go and yet staying connected and understanding how both work together.
Yes.
Good, thank you. So she's trying to figure out the work that would be best aligned with her path. What can you suggest to her?
She needs a position that is more boots on the ground type of a situation, but she's not invested in people's whole lives. She needs something that helps people, but not what she's done in the past. She cannot handle the therapeutic type work that she was doing in the funeral world. She cannot handle the personal experiences of others. She needs to make quick positive connections, or she needs to be in a managerial situation where she oversees a program that helps others. Her emotional stability cannot handle other people's emotions. It is too much for her, and then it affects everyone in her life, and she is not able to help people effectively.
Can you give her suggestions for a field or area within which she can look for such work?
The funeral industry worked for her as an embalmer, as she was able to make those connections without getting involved in the lives of the people. That was when she was most happy. It's not the only option for her. She has considered in the past becoming a minister. I think that is a very good fit, as pastoral care is not a full-time job and can be diverted to a professional that can help with that if things were to get very deep. Somewhere that she can spread her light and connect with others and make that positive impact would benefit her greatly.
Would starting a small center that offers healing services be in alignment with her?
Yes. She has a lot of fears with that, with the community that we're in, but it could be successful. It is definitely the right path.
What can she do to create a closer spiritual connection?
She needs to get out in nature more. She needs to take time alone more. She's very knowledgeable on meditation, but she needs to relax, let it go, let it be, instead of trying to control the situation when she is meditating. When she's outdoors, she does need to ground herself. She needs to get her children involved more with the outdoors and with grounding and mindfulness. She can tell that they're starting to stray and she needs to bring them back. But she always has the connection. She knows she does. She knows we're right here. She doesn't have to be nervous about if it's real or not. If she feels it is, it is.
Thank you. Now, before I let you go, do you want to give her a direct message? Please speak to her directly now.
You are stronger than what you believe. You are not defined by what happened to you in any of your past lives or this life. It does not make who you are. What you do is not important. It's the connections that you make and who you affect along the way. You are a positive beam of light that is brought to this earth to make it better. You have potential and you see it in others. And that is what this world needs, is for someone to show compassion and empathy and potential in everyone, no matter who they are. So spread your light and make those connections.
Thank you. So I'm going to ask the higher consciousness to recede to where it belongs, with much love and thanks for the help and information that it has given Haley today.